Is it hard to access affordable, healthy food? Then listen carefully. Daryl Addison, an African-American inventor, has patented a process for growing food on demand. He called it Torpedo Pot. Torpedo Pot is a fully automated flower pot that gives you control over your plant's environment. All you do is add soil, seeds, and plants to the flower pot and watch it grow. Yes, Torpedo Pot grows the rest. Visit www.torpedopot.com.
So they had a trial of a former race soldier out of San Diego who is facing felony charges of falsely documenting a 2020 arrest, finishing its closing arguments on Wednesday, December the 8th. So the trial began more than 18 months after viral videos first showed an encounter that began with a race soldier mistaking a cell phone for a cigarette. Now, on May 27, 2020, La Mesa, California race soldier Matthew Diggs, it said, approached Amari Johnson as a 29-year-old brother was standing outside an apartment building waiting for some friends to come out and join him. Johnson had been using his phone, and Diggs, who is a white person, it said had been in the area with other race soldiers who were on a trolley fare enforcement operation near the Grossmont Transit Center in La Mesa. Now, the race soldier explained his version of the encounter during his testimony on Wednesday. He said, I thought he was smoking from where I was standing. He said on the witness stand, explained that he mistook the action of Johnson lifting and lowering his phone as smoking. Now, they say when Johnson replied that he wasn't smoking, he was merely using his phone and waiting for some friends to come out of the apartments. And so he went from being questioned to detained, and he's explained to his own witness testimony last week. Now, the brother said, he told me I was not free to leave. He said, when I asked him if I could walk down the street, it said, I was asking me about the fare zones. So I was saying, if this was a fare zone, I'm allowed to go down the street. He said, that's when he told me, no, you can't, and sat me down. Now, 30-year-old Diggs, was assigned to participate in a fare compliance operation, which required him to make sure that he had their fare to ride public transportation at the trolley stop. However, Johnson was not at the trolley stop. He was across the street in front of the apartment. And with the viral video that was recorded, the race soldier pushed the brother down in a sitting position several times and arguing back and forth with him about why he's being arrested. Now, the race soldier took Johnson in on charges of assaulting an officer and resisting arrest. They say Diggs was pressed, on the stand Wednesday on whether he wrote in his report that Johnson was not smoking, even though that was stated for his approach. It said, my question is, did you write in your report that you did not find one item associated with smoking on Mr. Johnson when you searched him? Did you put that in your report? He was asked under cross-examination. Now, he replied, no, ma'am, I did not. I did not think it was relevant. It said not. So they said not important to you. Prosecutor continued, said, no, I was more concerned about Mr. Johnson putting his hands on me. Because always, they're so scared of black folks, right? I said, now retired police chief Walt Vasquez fired Diggs because he misrepresented the facts of his arrest report of the incident and showed bias based on race and profiling our brother. Now, they said a statement from the city stated that the department only terminated him after several months of complying with necessary legal protocols and procedures, including an external review by independent investigators. Now, footage from cell phones from one of Johnson's friends and two other witnesses and police body cams supported Johnson's story enough that it caused the city to drop the charges against the brother and fire the race soldier. Now, the race soldier appealed his termination but lost his appeal. Now, for more than a week, other witnesses gave their side of the confrontation, and during the opening statements, Deputy District Attorney Judy Tashner had told the jury that despite Diggs' written claim of Johnson smoking was prompting him to come over to him, records show that there were no lighters, cigarettes, vape pens, or any smoking implements on her client during the arrest. And she further stated that Diggs escalated the day's event after he confronted, detained, and arrested a young man who had done nothing wrong, and then lied about it on his police report. Okay, so of course, the race soldier's lawyer, he rebuts these claims. He said the client was just doing his job, et cetera, et cetera. You know how they always doing their job, right? Now they said that this brother, he was in a bladed stand. He balled his fist up. I thought he was gonna do me something. Oh my God, the fear of the black man. You know what I'm saying? They're so scared. Oh, they're scared. But no, he got caught. And that's exactly what it is, right? So this is the thing with the brother here. This happened a bunch of times with brothers. They minding their business, and these race soldiers just targeting you for no reason whatsoever. You being black. This is why they always talk about, and I said this before, that Mzungu cannot really police black people, and the reason why I say that is because the majority of them, yes, I will say it, the majority of them have racial bias against black people. And when I say racial bias, I'm not saying they're part of white supremacist groups, and a lot of them are part of white supremacist groups. You understand? A lot of them. How many times they keep getting caught with these race, white supremacist tattoos, being in all these white supremacist police gangs. You got them part of prison gangs, Aryan Brotherhood and Klan and neo-Nazis and all of these things these people are part of in so-called law enforcement. Now, the FBI said a long time ago they are in there and they don't do nothing about it, though. They may catch one or two of them, but it's not enough. Like, shoot, a simple way you can get a lot of them is just put them on lie detector tests and ask them, are you part of any white supremacist groups? Let's say they say no. They say, do you have any bias toward black Americans? Are you afraid of them? Do you feel biased toward them? You're not going to have no more Mzungus as cops at that point. You're not going to have none at all, because the majority of them have some sort of bias toward black people because it's the way they raised in their culture. You understand? They don't live around black folks. The only time they really start dealing with you, maybe if they go to school with you, do you realize they can live their life in this country with not even engaging black people? Do you realize that? They actually can. Now, we really can't live our life without engaging them. We're going to engage them somewhere. Either we're going to engage them on the job, we engage them in school, wherever. But they can live in little enclaves that you never see them. You never see black folks whatsoever. Now, for us, we got to go to the Caribbean or maybe the continent to actually experience that we don't even see them like that, right? Maybe far and few in between. But this race soldier needs to go to jail for lying. I'm a firm believer in that. These race soldiers lie on reports. And I feel about this about the race soldiers. You would stop them from doing all the things they're doing if they knew they would get double the time for anything they do. For instance, let's say if a crime they committed, normally a citizen would get 3 years, he'd get 6 because he's law enforcement. And that's the way it should be. You can't really judge a police the same you would judge a regular citizen because he know better or she know better. That's why. But let me know in the comments what you think about this particular story. With our brother here, didn't do nothing wrong whatsoever. The race soldier tried to lie. And like I said, this is the good thing about cell phone cameras today, because that's the only thing that really, keep them in check. Living in America as a black person, you recognize there is one set of laws for you and one set of laws for those, especially in the white community. In our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, I take you through times in my life when I first started noticing white supremacy. We teach you how to recognize it, identify it, and also counter it in our book. This book is a beginner's course for those that are just starting to wake up and open their eyes to see the system of white supremacy. As a black American person, you must understand this system, because this system is life or death to you. How you handle it, how you deal with it, it can affect your mental health if you don't understand this system. Pick up our book, Passive Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy, today on Amazon.